City and New Jersey. And tonight here we have now learned the FBI is questioning someone else, his wife. Was he acting alone? And what his own father said about his son before. Also developing the outrage tonight, the father of four, his SUV breaks down, then shot dead by police. Tonight, for the first time, the officer's defense. The deadly plane crash, the spy plane crashing down over America. Flashpoint, the Syrian refugees coming to the U.S. Our year-long investigation. And tonight, Donald Trump's son comparing refugees to poisonous Skittles, asking, would you take the chance? We go straight to Amman to ask who is vetting the refugees coming to America. And bombshell divorce, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. What's behind the split?
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight with major developments after bombs were left in New York City and New Jersey. Tonight, the FBI now questioning someone else, his wife. Right here tonight, this new surveillance video showing the suspect walking down a New York street. Authorities saying he was about to place those bombs. Also, we are now learning about the father, his alert to the FBI and what he once called his own son. And now, of course, the wife being questioned. Was the suspect acting alone? ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross leading us off with new charges just coming in tonight.
Federal officials confirmed tonight that they had been warned about accused bomber Ahmad Rahami, seen in this chilling surveillance tape, allegedly about to plant bombs in his suitcase and backpack. The warnings came from his own father, Mohammed Rahami, who told reporters at his home today that he met with the FBI in 2014.
Called the FBI 2 years ago. And what did you tell them? I told them you got a connection with this man.
But the FBI said today the father later recanted his allegations and the son was never questioned by the FBI.
They found that there was not enough there to continue the investigation.
The father's allegations came after his son's year-long trip to Pakistan, which is now a key to the investigation. Officials tonight are reviewing photos posted on Facebook of the accused bomber. While in Pakistan, Rahami also married and had 2 children with this woman, Asia Bibi, who came into the U.S. at Kennedy Airport in May 2014 and then left 3 months ago in June. Tonight, officials say she was stopped at the airport in Dubai and interviewed today by the FBI.
Basically, we're trying to get a picture of him through her. That's going to open up a lot more avenues of investigation.
After Rahami was caught Monday in the shootout with police, authorities say they found a personal journal in his pants pockets, which contained anti-American rants and praise for the late radical Islamic cleric Anwar al-Awlaki, who has inspired so many U.S. terror plots.
All right, so let's get right to Brian Ross tonight. Brian, we heard your report that the wife left 3 months ago, now being questioned tonight. What about other family members?
Well, David, his mother left the U.S. last month, and authorities aren't certain where she is. They're also focusing on at least one other brother who they believe is in Afghanistan and is said to have a substantial influence on the suspected bomber. And, David, we've now learned federal authorities are expected to add their own charges against Rahami soon, including counts of detonating a weapon of mass destruction.
All right, Brian, you'll stay on this. And we do have one more question on this tonight. I want to get right to our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. Pierre, you've been working your sources who say that neighbors heard the father call his own son a terrorist. The FBI had been alerted, so why wasn't he on the radar?
David, that's right. The FBI got wind of this after a neighbor of Rahami's father called authorities to report that he overheard the farmer screaming that Rahami was, quote, a terrorist. The FBI followed up interviewing the father, who said that he had yelled the terror accusations after a nasty domestic dispute involving his son. He called and said to the FBI that while he was concerned that his son was hanging out with bad people, he did not believe that he was a terrorist. FBI officials told me today they closed the case after an investigation and interviews failed to show any ties to terrorism. They say there simply was not enough to move forward, noting that they get thousands of such cases every year.
All right, Pierre Thomas with us live tonight as well. Pierre, thank you. In the meantime, we move on into growing outrage after a deadly police shooting. Tonight, the officer's defense for the first time here. Dash video showing the father of four with his arms up right there, walking back toward his broken down SUV just moments before he was shot and killed. ABC's Clayton Sandell is in Tulsa tonight on the officer and her defense.
Tonight, the Tulsa police officer who killed Terrence Crutcher is telling her side.
This was not something that was done out of hate or anger.
Through her attorney, Officer Betty Shelby says Crutcher ignored her repeated commands in the minutes before these videos begin, saying he appeared to be under the influence of drugs.
She's screaming at him, stop, stop, stop. Yeah. He walks up to the window, faces the SUV, and then looks at her. And then his left hand goes into the car window, and that's when she fired her shot.
But attorneys for Crutcher's family reject that, saying the video shows there's no way he could have reached for anything.
The window was up, so how could he be reaching into the car if the window is up and there's blood on the glass?
And tonight, Tulsa police tell ABC News investigators found what they believe is the drug PCP in Crutcher's car, but the tests are not complete. Crutcher's attorneys accuse police of trying to demonize the victim, an unarmed man who needed help, not a death sentence.
We just want to put to rest the idea that there somehow that justified his being treated as a criminal who was a threat to other people.
And David, while the federal and state investigations are underway, city officials here in Tulsa are urging calm. David?
Clayton Sandell with us tonight. Clayton, thank you. We turn now to the race for president and new questions first reported by the Washington Post. Did Donald Trump use donations to his charity, his foundation, to pay for, to settle lawsuits at some of his most famous resorts and to buy portraits of himself? ABC's David Wright on the money trail.
Today, Donald Trump complained it's hard to run for office as a billionaire.
Everyone says you should never, if you're successful, never run for political office.
Trump's business empire and charitable foundation are now under a microscope. Today, the Washington Post accused Trump of using his foundation as a piggy bank to settle lawsuits against his companies in possible violation of IRS rules. When Trump's Mar-a-Lago club faced a $120,000 fine for having too big a flagpole, Trump settled the case by pledging $100,000 to a veterans charity. The check came not from Trump's own pocket, but from the foundation. Foundation money also paid to settle a lawsuit brought by a golfer against Trump's club in Westchester, New York. $158,000 to the golfer's favorite charity. On the campaign trail, Trump accuses the Clinton Foundation of influence peddling.
It was pay for play.
But Trump paid an IRS penalty after his foundation made a $25,000 donation to a group supporting Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, who subsequently decided not to pursue an investigation into Trump University. Today, Bondi defended herself.
I would never, ever trade any campaign donation. That's absurd.
Trump has bragged about how much money he gives to charity.
Do you want to reveal how much you paid to charity?
I think I revealed over a period of years I've given over $100 million to charity. I think $102 million or something thereabouts to charity.
But since he hasn't released his tax returns, there's no proof. The foundation's tax returns show the last time he made a personal contribution was 8 years ago. Since then, according to the Post, he's spent $12,000 of the foundation's money at a charity auction to buy a helmet signed by Tim Tebow and shelled out $30,000 for 2 portraits of himself, including this one.
One candidate's family foundation has saved countless lives around the world. The other candidate's foundation took money other people gave to his charity and then bought a 6-foot-tall painting of himself.
We reached out to the Trump campaign and the Trump Foundation, both of them headquartered here at Trump Tower. No response, David.
David Wright, thank you. Meantime, also tonight, the race for the White House, word that a former Republican president, George H.W. Bush, could be voting for Hillary Clinton. Also, Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., causing a firestorm after sending a tweet comparing Syrian refugees to a bowl of poisonous Skittles, asking, would you take the chance? ABC's Tom Yamas is in North Carolina.
Tonight, in the wake of the bomb attacks, Donald Trump brushing aside critics of his calls for profiling.
Immigration security is national security.
His belief, political correctness prevents law enforcement from stopping people like the suspected New York bomber.
I want you to look at a woman who's in a wheelchair that's 88 years old and is barely making it, and let's say comes out of Sweden. She's supposed to be treated the same way as a guy that looks just like the guy that just got captured, who's central casting for profiling. Everybody's supposed to be treated equally. Well, it doesn't work that way. It's radical Islamic terrorism.
And the Republican nominee sticking to his ban on Syrian refugees.
And when it comes to Syrian refugees, you still...
Over.
done right now.
Done. No more. Done.
And Trump's son, Don Jr., drawing outrage on social media with this tweet. If I had a bowl of Skittles and I told you just 3 would kill you, would you take a handful? That's our Syrian refugee problem. The Mars Corporation, which makes Skittles, tweeting, Skittles are candy, refugees are people. It's an inappropriate analogy.
And Tom Llamas with us live tonight from North Carolina. And Tom, what have you learned about former President George H.W. Bush?
David, Robert Kennedy's daughter posted a photo on Facebook of herself with President George H.W. Bush. The caption read, "The president told me he's voting for Hillary." Now, Bush family representatives will not confirm or deny that news tonight. David?
Tom Llamas with us again tonight. Tom, thanks as always. And back to those comments about Syrian refugees, they come just as we finish a year-long journey here. We've been following Syrian refugees living right here in the U.S. They had no idea that they would be here amid terror attacks in Paris and elsewhere, and the growing anger right here at home. And we traveled to Amman tonight to ask who is vetting the Syrian refugees about to come to America. And you're about to see it all for yourself. This journey begins 1 year ago, the first day of school in one American town. And for this new first grader, that nervous look back. Chrysler Elementary School, Modesto, California. And the welcome they've been practicing in the main office.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hala is 6 years old. Her home back in Syria is now burned to the ground.
It says, "Welcome, Hala."
And on her first grade door here in America,
can you read that?
A sign in Arabic.
Mr. Vugui, come through. I'd love to introduce you to
Salam alaikum. Everyone say salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. This is Hala. Hi, Hala. Hala is very special because she is not from America. This is where Syria is.
And our cameras roll as the children begin to ask simple questions about the girl named Hala.
What happened to Syria? Yeah. Syria, there's some not so good things happening right now in Syria. America right now is a safe place for them to be.
But no one could have predicted what was about to happen in towns across America when terror strikes around the world.
We're letting in people that can potentially hurt our society as a whole.
How did it get to this point? Last September, we were there when Hala's family arrived on that flight to America.
He say I'm very happy from my bottom to be here in America.
A crash course on life in America, how not to flood the dishwasher, how to use the washer and dryer, how to get to Walmart. And then there's Hala, who is taking it all in.
Which one do you like, Hala? Do you feel safe in America?
But 43 days after they arrive in the U.S., this. The attacks in Paris. One of the attackers using a fake Syrian passport, posing as a refugee.
This has got to stop. They don't want to be Americans.
The political pressure mounts.
The way the mayor did this was underhanded and conniving.
We have to say hold back.
And suddenly, 32 governors announced they will halt Syrian refugees. And that Syrian family in Modesto is listening.
Listen, they could be ISIS. I don't know. If I win, they're going back. They're going back. I'm telling you. They're going back.
And so we travel the 7,400 miles from Modesto, California to Amman, Jordan, to see the vetting process for ourselves. And through this doorway, we immediately discover a crush of humanity.
So they come through here?
Yes.
Gina Kassem is with the U.S. State Department.
And they're brought into a security screening area.
For a vetting process that can last 2 years. And through the windows, we can see family after family being interviewed.
How can you possibly learn everything about a family through an interview?
I'd say that the interviewers are very highly trained. They are trained to look both not at the documentation, but also for the credibility behind the applicant's story.
But when you say documentation, I mean, this is Syria. They've been at war for years now. What kind of documentation do they have, if any?
Surprisingly, 97% of all adult applicants in our pipeline have documentation.
And inside this room, the Syrian families who have just been told They're next.
ناقشوا مع بعض شوفوا مع بعض الصور.
This is cultural orientation, where they're taught about their new home, America. She shows them a picture of a couple kissing in public.
هاي إيش هاي؟
عندنا قانون.
في أي مكان.
The next lesson about America, the melting pot. They're asked a simple question. Which of these faces are American?
مين هذا؟ دنزل واشنطن ممثل أمريكي. بيونسي.
For Americans who are worried about refugees coming to the U.S.,
We are humans like you. We want to be one of you. ممكن بس.
And tonight on Nightline, you will see what happens in that town here in America where they were so welcoming to the refugees just 1 year ago. No one saw this coming, including us. That's later tonight. We hope you'll watch or DVR Nightline and then tweet us afterward. We want to know where you stand.